Howdy, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Debauchery Circus campaign here on the Random Rhapsody Network. I am Matthew R. Dawson, your friendly neighborhood host and GM, and joining me around the virtual table today are Brandie, Brie, John, Jr., and Stephen. Say hi, everybody.
Hello.
Now, not too many announcements to get through today. I'm just going to remind everybody that we do have the Halloween one-shot coming up in about 2 weeks, hosted by Alyssa Egan of the Fab Five, and it's going to have me and Brie, as well as John and Kyle, or Joe and Kyle, sorry, Joe and Kyle from the Debauchery Circus. So check out that on the 25th. And then it's going to be uploaded to YouTube on December 31st, Halloween night. And I'm also going to be running a rerun December 31st, Halloween night, here on Twitch as well. So enjoy that. Okay, that should do it for announcements. So join us as we dive into the world of Loroupa and continue on with the adventures of the Debauchery Circus.
That we can prove.
That you can prove. We're back. So when we last left off, the Debauchery Circus had met with Edmund Coltrast, the young heir of Coltrast Keep, to discuss strategies on how the team could free the town from the evil Lord Veritude and his minions. The squad discussed their various options, weighed their strengths and weaknesses, and eventually came up with a plan to disguise themselves as a real circus and infiltrate the town using that guise. Edmund returned to the palace to request formal documentation from the king, while the rest of the circus set out into North Emia to run their various errands. While Ichabod and Willow enjoyed a local church service, Cameron enlisted the aid of Blaznir to accompany him to the Twisting Spires to examine the office and laboratory of his disappeared master. There, the pair discovered a small figurine that seemed to have a faint magical aura, a wand hidden in a secret drawer, and a strange pointed object protected by a magical barrier that quite literally threw Cameron across the room when he tried to touch it. In the end, the pair decided to return another day when they could be better prepared to deal with the barrier they found. After regrouping with the rest of the squad, Shokan informed her friends about a martial arts tournament she had heard about being held up at the Erudite Conclave. Blaznir, Ichabod, and Willow also expressed interest in the event, and soon the team found themselves in an underground fighting arena deep below the Conclave. Shokan easily defeated her first opponent, and even Blaznir made it past the first round. Ichabod and Willow, however, were not so fortunate, and they soon joined Cameron in the audience to watch their monk and druid friend emerge victorious in the second round as well. With that second victory, the pair then had a choice to make. Only one could advance to the final round. Who would that be? But before we can find out, a question comes to each of your minds. And that question is, what would your character's major be in college? And since Ichabod, you're the one who rolled, why don't you go first?
So I feel like it'd be kind of cheesy to say theology, although I feel like that's what it would be. So let's say he's dual majoring in theology and philosophy.
Theology and philosophy. That's fun. I see it. Okay.
But in game, I'm not educated.
No, not so much. Just the education from the church and being a soldier. Cameron, how about you?
I'm gonna go ahead and say political science.
Poli-sci major, huh?
Really be like an eloquent speaker, so he's not actually a politician himself, but he's definitely one of those like behind the scenes guys who looks at like what's going on in politics to determine the future.
Okay.
Sort of like a not time magic obviously, but like telling the future by prediction, by
Yeah, absolutely.
studying the political climate and seeing everything that's going on in all the different countries and everything.
Yeah, I get it. I like it. Okay. Blaznir, how about you?
I don't know, honestly. Probably something with filming, I guess.
Film major. Or theater major.
Yeah, I can see Blaznir as a theology or as a theater major, definitely.
My first thought was maybe he didn't go to college, maybe he just became a firefighter.
Yeah, there's that. Okay. Willow, how about you?
Computer programming and a tech school.
Okay. I dig
You
it.
gotta learn to hack to get the information.
Yeah?
Sure you didn't go to an all-women's college?
No. You can't go to an all-women's school when you're in the FBI's, hidden, what the hell is it called? Oh, I blanked. Witness protection program.
Witness protection. Yeah, there you go. Okay. I like it. Shokan is actually in traffic right now. She should be back pretty soon. But, so we'll skip her for now.
Shokan went to the School of Hard Knocks.
Definitely. Definitely.
She went right out of school, had a kid, and is now going to school to pick up her kid.
But no.
She went to a technical, working in waste management. Working for the mob, for that reference.
Well, yeah, sorta. Of course, in this world, it's the Cerulean Syndicate.
No, names are just names. Leg breakers are always like.
True. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, but with the tournament, the second round of the tournament complete, Shokan and Blaznir step away from the pit, and the next group of contestants begin forming up. The tournament's been going on for about an hour and a half or so now, and more contestants are coming up to try their hand against the monks to varying degrees of success. While that's happening, Cameron, you've rejoined with the rest of the group and gotten a chance to sit down and have a drink and that sort of thing, and just watch as these conclave monks sit there and spar with the various people who's participating. Now, you've never been inside the conclave before, but you've definitely heard a lot about them because as a member of the Arcanum, you've been at odds with this rival faction. They're not wizards; they're more archaeologists. They're more lore master types, but they tend to fight your Institute Arcanum quite a bit for access to information and salvaging rights and things of that nature. So for centuries, your two groups have kind of butt heads. So this is probably a unique experience for you.
Thing is, I can back secret information to the Institute Arcanum on the Conclave.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's a horrible secret that they have a training ground in their basement.
That they invite everybody publicly to come to.
Yeah, that they invited everyone to publicly come to. Shokan, welcome back. Yeah, the question was, what would your character's major be in college? You have an answer? You might want to
Well,
move your microphone closer to you.
Wander from college to college, just being that one hippie sitting on the grass playing a guitar.
He doesn't even go there.
Yeah, probably about right. Shokan wouldn't be one to stay in one place too long. So I think college would be pretty far from her list of cares.
Okay, that's fair enough. I like it. Okay, well, Shokan and Blaznir, between the two of you, who is going to be advancing to the final round of the tournament?
Yes, I think you're motivated for this stuff. I'm almost gonna faint.
Are you quite sure she did think that it was a good idea to attempt to convince some of the wisest that you were her pet bear?
She did what? I don't remember this.
I do
Yes,
not recall.
She suggested perhaps they could try to convince the Conclave that you were a pet or an emotional support bear of some kind.
And so as Cameron broke Blaznir's brain, it sounds like you're saying Shokan's going to advance into the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Blaznir, you part ways with Shokan and exit the fighting pit as well. And as you cross the field of sand, a tiefling wearing the same tan and green training gi walks up to you and offers a hand to you to shake.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
Thank you.
the tiefling says, "Oh, well done advancing in the tournament." And it smiles just enough to show some very pointed canines behind his lips. You fought admirably, and shall be rewarded. And he hands you a small sack tied with a string. Inside, you find 6 marble-sized diamonds, each worth about 100 gold.
Wow.
Well, thank you. I will put these to good use.
What is
I wanna-
what is the tiefling look like, Matt?
The tiefling is a red-skinned man. He has long curling horns on the side of his head and very, very dark lips. His eyes are yellow, and as I said, he wears the same tan and green training gi that most of the other monks that you've been seeing of the Conclave wear.
I want to lean over to my friend Cameron and say, "Nah, I don't mean to alarm anybody, but I think I just saw Blaznir make a deal with the devil."
I'll just sort of. Yes, it appears he did it to that. And my character thinks that you're joking. You're actually
Probably best to keep an eye on him. You know, I look at him really hard.
Yes,
Well.
you never know how deadly and dangerous a devil.
That's true. I'm glad you're seeing things my way.
Especially if
We
you
should have a
don't,
talk with Blaze here.
I think I have enough.
especially if you dot your eyes and mind your cues.
I think I have enough passive perception and insight to know what's going on over there. So,
Um,
get down.
I don't know. You're walking over.
Yeah, I mean you're not too close to them. They're hanging out in the crowd to one side. You're kind of far to the other. Would you have heard that? Go ahead and make a perception check.
I mean, I have a passive perception. But 21.
I don't know.
Hey, what does Ichabod look like again in terms of like physicality and such?
So he is 6'2", but 6'4" in heels. And he has like and leathery skin, and a beard and a mustache that don't touch.
I'll allow it, Blaznir. I'll say you probably caught wind of them looking at you and pointing at you at the least.
Imagine
Yeah.
a pirate and a cowboy and a Puritan all mixed together, and that's what Ichabod looks like.
Is he pretty jacked?
Yeah, he's got a working man's muscle.
Why
Not
are
like
you
a
playing Johnny Depp?
Playing Johnny Depp. I'm playing country Johnny Depp.
So Benny and June, basically.
Sure.
Didn't he have an accent in that one? I don't remember.
Hey, as long as she's not playing him in Dead Man, I think we're okay.
Well, anyway.
Anyway, I think I should get over to my friends. I don't think I can bear this competition any longer. You know, because
I take
think-
psychic damage.
I'll put a hand on Ichabod's arm and try to hide the fact that I'm feeling his arm a little bit and say,
Whoa.
best not to bring it up to him directly, otherwise you might alert him. Observe personality. He acts any different after speaking to the devil.
I think that's a wise idea. Nothing like some reconnaissance. All right, I stare intensely at Blaznir.
did you say this was 600 gold of diamond?
Yes, 600 gold worth of diamonds total.
All right. Thank you.
So, Shokan, you're brought to a nearby waiting area, and you're told you can rest and prepare yourself for the final match here while the tournament concludes. So, yes, you did ask last session if you could take a short rest, and you are able to. And anyone else who wants to can as well. The tournament continues on for another couple hours, as more contestants try their skill against the Conclave monks. More contestants make it to the second round, even less to a third. In the end, there's only 4 individuals, including Shokan, who end up making it to the final round. At last, you are summoned into the fighting pit one last time, Shokan. And as you move out into the sand pit, you see a tabaxi in tan robes trimmed with green, walking out to take a stance about 20 feet or so away from you. We're right about there.
Shokan, get out there and fist that pussy.
Whoa.
I just heard Finn. What the hell? That was weird. Finn screams out from...
Willow
Yeah.
straight gets frustrated eyebrows, crosses her arms, and huffs.
I just say, dear father, I hope you forgive his impiety.
The tabaxi is of similar height to you, Shokan. This one has pale fur and a very similar shade as her robes, but with long black stripes going down her neck and around her eyes and the tips of her ears. She is holding a quarterstaff held at ease behind her back, and as she stops in place, she holds it out in front of her and nods and gives you a bow in acknowledgement.
I do the same. I look at her, my quarterstaff. Respectfully bow.
Okay. When she sees this, she rises back up and holds the quarterstaff up, kind of turning around in place, kind of getting everyone's attention as she does so. And her eyes then lock on you as she completes her circle, and she tosses the thing aside before smiling at you, clearly challenging.
I look at the quarterstaff to see if she used it as a scratching post.
Make a perception check.
$25, not 20.
Yeah, you can see a few scratches along it, but it's not like something that she does consciously.
Good.
So I guess we're doing this weapons free.
Well, that's what
This
That-
sicko.
that's what
That's-
she's challenging you to do anyway.
I'll throw my toss my quarterstaff to the side too. I can rely on my muscles.
Okay. And
I, however, do not take off my brass knuckles.
well, it's funny you should mention that because what I was about to say is the next thing she does once you throw your quarterstaff aside, she begins unwrapping hand wraps from her hands. These too she drops to the ground, and as the cloth falls, you can't help but notice that they glimmer faintly with magic.
No, she keeps dropping her weapons and sitting there going, yeah, you still got claws, lady.
Oh, is this a normal part of this fight? I thought they were supposed to hit each other.
They will eventually, I believe. Opponent here is attempting to her prowess by discarding things that she feels are crutches. Though, being a tabaxi, still has claws, making it a bit of an unbalanced equation, if you will.
Well, I can respect the rules of a duel.
I too have claws, by the way.
Wait,
Portal
Racial
claws.
trait.
didn't know turtles got claws. That's cool.
But once her wraps are off, she tosses them aside next to her quarterstaff, and then she assumes a stance of preparedness and kind of seems to be looking at you, waiting patiently.
Kind of, getting a stance of readiness with my strays. Some sort of cool martial stance that I am not cool enough to know at this.
That's fair enough. So go ahead, Shokan, and roll for
I'll be
initiative.
a raging turtle, maybe.
The
Portal?
raging turtle.
Did any of the poses they do for Ginyu for?
Sweep the leg, Johnny! Sweep the leg!
But go ahead and roll for initiative, Shokan. Very nice. So with a 21 that you apparently just rolled, it looks like you're going to be going first. So, Shokan, what would you like to do? Yeah, I don't like that music, by the way. $17 does not hit.
Oof.
Oh yeah, 21 definitely does. We can't hear you.
That'll be 11 damage for that. Then flurry of blows. That's a 12.
Yep.
18. Does 18 hit?
And 18 does not hit.
Damn. Okay. 11 damage then.
Indeed, 11 damage. Now we come to the monk's turn. Monk is going to move side about 5 feet. First thing it's going to do is make 2 unarmed strikes at you. Oh, sorry, that was to GM. Let me fix that. That first one was a 20, by the way.
20 hits.
And it's a 20 and a 21, so 2 hits. So that is a 10 and a 6 for 16 points of damage. And I'm going to need you to make a con saving throw, please.
Damn.
The big old earth is catching up with that.
So yeah, with that second punch, you feel a surge of what what's the best way I could? A surge of ki hit your body as she's trying to punch and hit pressure points that you know as well. You know this technique as well. She was trying to stun you, but with your 22, you easily avoid that. So, let's see then. Bonus action. Yeah, bonus action, she's going to go ahead and do her flurry of blows. So that's 2 more strikes. That's a 19 and a 15.
19 just barely.
So 6 more points of damage. And she's going to go ahead and leave it right there. So that's it for her turn. You're up next.
Okay, well, I'm gonna... First one is...
Somebody from the crowd who doesn't know how monks work yells, "Do that death touch thing already!"
Get him with the Vulcan nerve pinch.
So I'm going to attack. 17 misses.
17 does not miss. The two of you have the same AC, just so you know.
22 hits.
22 does hit.
And that one I'm also doing Hand of Harm with.
Okay.
Which would be 11 points of damage for that.
11 more points of damage.
And then Flurry of Blows again, of course. That misses. 25 does not.
25 does not.
10 damage.
10 more points of damage. Nice. You're giving this thing a beating. Punches and kicks are being thrown back and forth. The two of them seem to be grappling more than, and not really grappling, but more just trading off punches and kicks and blocks and jabs for this first series of rounds. Next up, we come to the monk's turn. She's doing the exact same thing she did the last time. 2 unarmed strikes against you. She twists around and kicks, followed up by a uppercut. That's a 22 and a 24. She's rolling really well.
Yeah.
So that's 17 more points of damage to you, Shokan.
Considering how liquid cats can be in real life, imagining one who is a monk is just...
Oh yeah, she's just
terrifying.
Jumping around, doing these crazy flips and blocks. It's a really impressive sight to see, a turtle versus a cat. I should have done a rat, folk. I just thought of it. Oh my god, why didn't I think of it sooner? That would have been amazing.
I guess I don't get that reference.
Master Splinter.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So she's following it up with a flurry of blows. First flurry. First punch, that's a miss. Critical miss.
You.
Yeah, she did. She punched, and as she punched, Shokan just twisted back around, doing this weird, crazy matrix move. Followed up, though, that's a 26. That's definitely a hit. So 8 more points of damage to you, and I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. She twists around and tries to trip you.
15.
15 just makes it. She hits your leg with that spinning around lower kick, and you just hear her thump against your leg, but you stand firm, and she is not able to drop you. So that's it for her turn. And she is using quite a bit of her key points. Next up for you. Go ahead, Shokan.
Alright, same. 15 misses. 23 does not miss.
Yep.
That'd be 10 points of damage for that. Flurry of blows. First one is, okay, 13 misses. The second one, I am going to actually use Hand of Healing on myself. Which would give me 7 points of healing.
Okay. So you punch once, but the second one you twist around and just touch yourself, surging some healing into your chest. That it for you? Okay. The monk jumps up, twists around, and kicks out. That's a 14, so that misses. Her second is a 9. Neither of them hit. So bonus action, the only thing she can use right now is another unarmed strike. And that's another 9. Wow. Holy shit. 3 misses. You are starting to feel her rhythm now. And as she punches, you just dodge back. Second punch. You're not there at all. You twist around as she's trying to kick, and it places you right behind her.
Okay, well, I mean, brass knuckles first, 22 hits for 10. The next one is also going to be a hand of harm. 9, that misses.
That misses, yep.
Okay,
All these crit fails.
flurry blows again, 13 misses.
Oof.
13 also misses.
Yeah. With every punch, she's just blocking or weaving away from you. You're trading blows as quick as you can, but neither of you seem to be able to lay a hand on each other in this last round. It is her turn now. First up, 2 punches. 25 cleans your clock, and a 15 I know misses. So that's 9 more points of damage. Followed that up with a flurry of blows. A 21 hits, and I need you to make another dexterity saving throw.
11.
Ooh, you are knocked prone. You are now down on the ground. You take 8 points of damage, and you are on your back as she trips your legs out from under you. That last hit is going to be, let's see, what is it when you're prone? Is it?
Advantage, I think.
Yeah, I think it's advantage. So the last punch is at advantage. Ooh, that's a critical hit. For a whole 9 more points of damage. So not too bad, but once she kicks your feet out from under you and knocks you on your shell, she just turns around and haymakers you with her heel, cracking you right in the chest. 8 more points of bludgeoning damage, and you feel your shell crack a little bit as you're hit.
There you go. I just popped it into chat.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I thought. So you are now on your back, Shokan. You have to use part of your movement to get up, which is half your movement, unless you have that monk ability. No, I think that's Drunken Master that has that one.
Probably.
I mean, obviously I stand up and going at it again.
Geezer.
23 to hit for 8 damage. 21 to hit, also with Hand of Harm, for another 10 damage.
This monk is looking severely hurt by your punch with your brass knuckles, followed up by that hand of harm that just shoves your necrotic chi through its body. She's looking pretty rough.
And I mean, of course, flurry of blows again. That's a 16, that misses. 28 definitely hits for 15 damage.
Wow. So Shokan, she had 7 hit points left. How many hit points did you have left?
18.
Wow. Yeah. Very nice. So, show us, tell us, how does this look?
I feel like that last one, I mean, I'm like just ready to end it. I just clock her right in the head and knock her out. Completely cold.
And the monk goes flying through the air, landing with a thud in the sand that causes just a little bit of a crater to ripple out from around her. And she is knocked unconscious. And the crowd just erupts in loud cheers. Everyone screaming, "Ah! Shokan! Shokan! Shokan!" The entire arena just filled with the sound of massive cheers. You see a monk come running over to the tabaxi who's on her back and begins healing her pretty much immediately. As another walks over to you, grabs you by your wrist, and holds your hand up high, signifying you are the champion. You defeated that last round in the tournament. Congratulations.
And, I'm kind of breathing a little heavy because,
Mhm.
But yeah, I was down to my last key point too.
Yeah, that was a close one. That really was. Good job. She had 3 key points left.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't holding back.
Nah, as well you shouldn't. As well you shouldn't. With your victory now in hand, the crowd is just cheering your name over and over again, as well as your friends all in the stands with you. Another monk, an older human this time, approaches you, holding out a long white belt trimmed with glistening ivory beads.
Sure, it's not a rat folk.
Sure, it's a rat folk this time, just for the fun of it. The monk tells you, this belt is worn by those who have proven themselves strong enough to join our order. Wear this with pride. And you can see the magical gleam on this belt. It is beautiful. The monk also tells you, Master Ohm, the master monk of our order, has promised to train and evaluate any who receive one of these belts for possible membership into the erudite conclave itself. Wear this belt with pride, and look forward to the time when Master Ohm will meet with you.
Okay, and I take the belt and kind of bow respectfully to the monk and hold the belt up and kind of bow slightly to the belt as well, and tell him, I will definitely wear this with pride.
Okay. So what you have here is the belt of the Ivory Master. It's a braided white silk belt that denotes the early stage of the path of mastery in the monastic order of the erudite conclave. When you have 0 key points remaining, you can use this as a bonus. You can use a bonus action to regain 1d4 plus 1 key points. And you can do this once a day.
Nice.
So she's gonna work her way up to a black belt. That's what's happening.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Sweet.
You have anything you want to do, Shokan?
I mean, I'm gonna put the belt on.
Well, I'd certainly
I'll
hope so.
also pluck my +2 quarterstaff that's over there. And I'm gonna thank the monk too for the opportunity to be part of this tournament, and I look forward to meeting with Master Ohm.
You are escorted out of the training pit, or the fighting pit, so that the next contestant comes up and gets to have their fight. Now, the monk that's talking to you, the rat folk, he does say, now Master Ohm is currently away on conclave business in Venuis, but he should return in another few weeks. Once it's time for your lesson, worry not. Master Ohm will find you.
Understood. Can I get some healing?
Yeah. Oh yes, absolutely. There are monks there. There are a couple priests who come up and begin healing your wounds. They pump a few cure wounds into you and heal you back up. At least enough that your shell is no longer broken. But I'm sure there's still a little bit of a crack there, a seam, to remind you of how you damn near got beat, but you won. That's a nice scar there to remind you of your victory.
Yeah, I wear every scar with pride.
Exactly.
I would not want there to not be a scar.
Absolutely. But you are
Wait,
healed back up, and
I go over and heal with a scar.
Whoops.
Nah.
Up. Don't forget to pick out your new name.
Oh no, I didn't almost die. I didn't have a roll death save, so.
This is Shokan who won.
So, am I full heal, or
Yeah, we'll say that you're healed back up. That's fine. And if you all want to stay and watch the tournament, you could probably get yourself a short rest in as well.
Nah,
I'm good.
I have something I gotta do.
You have something you got to do. Okay.
Here.
Well, the tournament does continue on after Shokan does her match. There are 3 other matches besides hers. Hers was the first, but if you all want to leave, you certainly can now.
Yeah.
It's entirely up to you. Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
ignore all that? I'm trying to get this stupid thing to go away from the bottom.
No worries. No worries. Well, your group gathers back up, and you all kind of agree to head back out into the night. It is fairly late in the evening at this point, probably somewhere close to around 10-ish, give or take, at night. The city is beginning to close down for the evening, but you still do have a couple hours left over if you're wanting to do it. Since you are leaving early, you do have a little bit of time left. So what are you wanting to do, Cameron?
I wanted to go learn Dispel Magic from the Arcanum.
Oh, well,
Put it in my spellbook.
do you have the money for that?
Yeah, Blaznir was going to pay for that.
Okay, we can just say that because we just basically time skipped to the tournament, so we can say during the course of that day beforehand, you could have gotten the spell Dispel Magic.
Awesome. Then Cameron is going to do some shenanigans with Blaznir.
Shenanigans with Blaznir.
Yeah, I have greater invisibility and proficiency with thieves' tools, so we're gonna try and see if we can sneak into the lab without having somebody watching over our shoulder.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I would say that you do know the Institute very well. You've grown up, you lived there for many, many years, so you probably do know the rounds the soldiers make and that sort of thing. Is it just the 2 of you going to do that?
I hadn't actually asked anybody else. Let me see. So I have invisibility is 2nd level spell, and I can cast it and target 1 additional creature for each slot level above 2nd. So if I used it at 4th level, I could potentially target 2 people besides me, so I could bring somebody else. The question is, who exactly would be okay with what we're doing, because I'm pretty sure from the way Ichabod's been talking that he might not be okay with that sort of thing.
I slap you on the back and say, I'm your girl.
We're trying to do something sneaky, and you're wearing very heavy armor.
Dodge out of the way of the back slapping.
I cast off all my armor and I'm in my cloak.
Sure.
Oh, that works. Okay. I didn't know you could. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so Willow, just standing there, wearing that full suit of heavy armor, just snaps her fingers and says a word, and suddenly it just all shoots off of her and into her backpack. It's probably the weirdest thing y'all ever seen.
So it's Blaznir's first time getting a woman out of her clothes.
And I also have a spell to make us a bit more sneakier, even with the visibility.
Oh, what is that?
It kind of makes the shadows cling to you. It's a pass without trace.
That's better.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't a silence spell, because I've had companions identify themselves when they attempted to use such a spell before, and then the people that they were hiding from realized that they couldn't say anything when they were close enough to them, and
Yeah,
they
no.
were quickly discovered.
That doesn't sound like a good idea at all.
No. Right, well, let us tempt our fates, as it were.
Yeah, we're gonna break into a mage college, so
Yes.
it's gonna be. I mean, no better way to tempt fate.
Okay, so while Cameron and Blaznir and Willow kind of huddled off, I assume you guys probably were discussing this while the tournament
Yeah.
was going on.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so while that's going on, Shokan, Ichabod, what are you two doing?
Standing there awkwardly. Sir Shokan, allow me to extend to you my congratulations.
Why, thank you. Thank you. It's definitely a hard-fought battle.
Yes, it was very entertaining, so we're like weird because we don't really know each other very well. Is it too late? Because I realized when I went to the temple, I forgot to do any like asking around, which was my intention, was to ask around to be like, have you seen my wife? Is this too late at 10 p.m.?
We could say that you would have. We can retroactively say you did that during the day yesterday,
Okay.
or that morning before the tournament, if you want to. Let's see here. So during the course of the day, the previous day, while Cameron was getting his spell and everyone was all off preparing for their own things, you had gone to the temple to ask about your wife. Which temple are you going to? Are you going to the big?
It was probably the big one.
The
I
big
probably
one?
did it while we were there, if we're gonna retroactively
Yeah. Okay.
after the service.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm trying to think of what's a good role for this sort of thing.
Investigation.
Yeah,
Or
that's kind of.
persuasion. Probably either one, I guess.
I'm gonna go with persuasion for this, honestly, because you go and you find the head priest after the sermon's over, and he's an older human, long white beard, long black hair. It's kind of interesting seeing these two things together. Kind of looks like Saruman, but that's kind of what I'm picturing. But he looks at you and he said, "Oh yes, my son. What can I do for you?"
Well, excuse me. My name is Ichabod Sykes. I'm a servant of the Father. I've come actually to ask if you may have seen a Mrs. Ichabod Sykes. You might know her by the name Prudence. Maybe Prudence Sykes or Prudence Nightingale.
He's kind of thinking for a moment. Well, you're very welcome, of course, my son. Any servant of the Father is welcome here. He's kind of thinking back for a little bit. Give me a persuasion check.
Oh, 15.
Okay. Prudence. I do recall a Prudence Nightingale who came through Northamia a long time ago. There could have been.
How long are we talking?
I'm trying to think. Oh. How long? Because when was it that you discovered she was missing?
So-
That's what I'm blanking on.
I think it would have been almost 3 years since the last time I saw her. So I went to war for 2 years, and then I've been looking for her for a while.
Okay. I would say I believe she came through here maybe 2.5 years ago. It's been some time. She was a young woman with some children, passing through Northamia on their.
That sounds like her.
Yes, indeed. She did take refuge here for a night before boarding another ship in the morning, she said.
Well, did she give you any indication as to where she might have been going?
All I can remember telling her. Go ahead and roll a history check. I think that's what we're going to use to see how much he knows.
I get a +0 because I ain't very intelligent. It's a 17.
17, that's not too bad. He's thinking once again, and he says, I recall her saying She wishes to get as far to this other side of the continent as possible. So she was taking a boat again the next day, but I cannot remember where she was sailing to.
I suppose she did always have a flair for the dramatic.
He's thinking a little bit more, and it's like it's just there on the tip of his tongue, but he's not quite sure. He thinks for a few more minutes, and at last he says, "That's not the right map." That's what he says.
I'm like been sitting here for like 30 minutes
Yeah.
serving him coffee.
Yeah,
But
probably.
if anything comes to mind, feel free to share it with me.
He says Port Souliard, I think, was where she said she was heading next. Yes, Port Souliard.
All right. Well, thank you, sir. This has been very helpful to me. And I take my hat off respectfully. And it's like 11 o'clock. No, I'm kidding.
And then he places a hand on you and gives you a little bit of a benediction, a blessing of the Father for you as you go out and search for your wife.
How sweet. All right.
With that 17 history, I'm also going to give you one more thing. Port Souliard is a port at the far end of Radagast. It's actually the last port of that kingdom.
Okay. Port Souliard. Now I got a place to look. Yes! It was not a mistake to come here.
There you go. So, with that, Cameron, Blaznir, and Willow, the three of you make your way after leaving the Conclave tournament and head out into the night towards the Institute Arcanum. Now, Cameron, as you know, the Institute Arcanum is guarded by the gate. There are more guards throughout the Twisting Spires themselves. So, describe for me exactly what it is how you're trying to get in.
So first of all, I'm casting invisibility on us.
When are you doing that?
Popped into the chat. Well, it lasts for an hour.
Mm-hmm. So you're doing it like you get out to the outside of the institute?
10 minutes before we get there, we'll
Okay.
say.
Okay.
And then beyond that, I know the way, so I can basically just have everybody follow me. And, between knowing the guard schedules and just being able to sort of sneak on in, that's what we're trying to do.
Okay, I like it. So you get to the edge of the gate to the Twisting Spires. You cast invisibility on yourself and your two companions. Now I want each of you to make for me stealth checks with advantage as you try to sneak past the guard.
Can I cast Pass Without a Trace before this?
You can, since you all did discuss that, so you can cast your Pass Without a Trace as well. So what you're going to have, the three of you, is you're rolling your stealth with advantage and adding a +10 because of Pass Without a Trace.
Awesome.
That's a 25.
Total of 28.
And roll 20's being stupid.
You need me to roll for you?
No. It's taking forever. You gotta love roll 20.
Oh yeah.
Love it or
And
hate
I'm
it,
sure it'll pop up.
just don't date it.
Sure, it'll pop up here in a second.
So 35 looks like.
Yeah.
But,
Oh,
it's a nat 20.
Yeah.
I forgot to take off the armor. But yeah, so it was a nat 20.
Okay. Yeah, it's just because you forgot to unequip the heavy armor on your sheet. You're fine. So yeah, a total of 35, 28, and 25. You're all pretty fucking stealthy. And
Yeah, we are.
there's two guards at the gate. And you do see a few people, like maybe one or two other students hurrying to get past in the queue, and you kind of just wait for a moment, wait for that right opportune moment to get past the gate and slip through while someone else is going past and easily make it through. You head to the Institute itself, and Cameron, you do know that in places there are areas that's heavily warded with magic. You can't go through the front door, but there are side doors that it's possible to get through. You've been there long enough, and you know where wizards dip out for a smoke and leave the door open, that sort of thing.
Awesome.
And you're able to go around the wards that you do know and make your way into the Institute. Now, what I'm going to need from you next is I'm going to need you to make for me a history check, because this is going to be your memory of how to get through the Institute unnoticed, where things are, where guards typically hang out, that sort of thing.
Okay. History. 17.
17, not too bad. You have a pretty decent memory, and you've lived there long enough that you're able to make your way through past most of the warded areas. And if there's some place where a guard is, the group you wait for those right moments. I want each of you to give me one more stealth check. Similar circumstances at advantage and a +10 because of the spells you guys have.
26.
27.
29.
Very nice. Yeah, you're easily able to do this. Like, the only reason you're able to is the fact that you know this so well, and you're doing it in such a way that you're able to get past. Your average person, no way whatsoever. But you happen to remember where most things are. And it does take you a little bit. You have to go a lot of roundabout routes. And it ends up well past midnight, but you do end up making your way into your master's chamber. Let me grab Willow real quick.
Cool.
Okay, there you go. You should be able to see as well now, Willow. And
I'm
boom.
still. Oh, there it goes. I'm like, I'm not here.
Yep, I was in the process of moving you. But the three of you make your way to... I'm not supposed to be in there, though. You do make your way through the temple, or not through the temple, through the twisting spires, down into the basement area, and finally to the hallway that you know and are very familiar with, your master's laboratory. The door is locked, and you are well aware of that. So you bend down and kind of take a look at the lock. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay. Oops, that was with advantage. But that's.
All of us or just
4.
him?
Just him.
Okay.
But at 24 is pretty damn good. And as you're looking over the lock, you also notice that the lock is warded.
Okay. Well, I pull out my set of thieves' tools, and I look around and I say, "All right, Delmirev, I guess it's time for another test." So if the lock is warded, then I'm gonna have to dispel the lock.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna cast Dispel Magic on the lock first.
What level of spell are you casting it?
I'll do a 3rd level spell just to start with.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a Arcana check.
Sure. Let's see. And then tell me if
So it's
I-
an ability check using your spell casting ability. I'm sorry.
Yes. Okay. So 22 on Arcana, though I think that is incorrect. So let me see. Village check, spellcasting. So I have a +8. So let me roll.
Actually, that's the same thing as your Arcana. Your
Oh,
Arcana
okay.
is +8, so it works
Well,
either
then
way.
22.
Yeah,
To
then
see
with
if I can cancel the spell.
with a 22, you cast the spell Dispel Magic, focusing on the lock, and you watch that purple sigil flare for a moment and then dissipate.
Awesome. Now it's time for a Thieves' Tools.
Willow and Blaznir, while you're doing that, go ahead and make perception checks.
Sadly, that's only a 15.
It is. And with a 15, you bend down and start working at the lock, and you think you have it in place, but you hear that click, click, and it does not unlock.
Okay.
Second nat 20.
Yeah.
19.
So, Willow, with your 22, and Blaznir with your 19, you hear footsteps coming from the far end of the hall, coming closer.
Hey, Mr. Cameron, you might want to hurry a bit.
Alright. I'm gonna try and make another check if I can to open the door.
Okay.
Damn, that's even worse.
Mm-hmm. With a 13, you're playing with those picks, trying to find that right place, and you're just unable to get the tumblers right where you need to. You can now hear the footsteps as well.
Actually, since I know that I failed, let's go with a chronal shift to re-roll it.
Okay.
16.
16 is exactly the DC that you were trying to hit.
Thank goodness.
So finally, you focus your magic, chronally shifting, and the world seems to just change a little bit as your pick finally finds the tumbler's sweet spot, and the door clicks open. You push it open as fast as you can. I need all three of you to make stealth checks for me. Same circumstance.
32.
Damn. 27.
27.
Whew, it's a good thing the three of you have all these spells on you right now. You walk through the door, shutting it ever so softly, just in time as a man begins walking down the hall. You hear those footsteps, step, step, step. Oh, well, thank you very much for bringing me tea.
I did not put any honey in it, so I didn't know if you wanted any.
Thank you very much. My children just brought me tea. How nice.
I couldn't tell if that was in character or not.
Sorry, no. Just the kids walked in our bedroom and handed me
Yo,
tea.
that mug is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's...
I'll take some green tea with a bit of honey and lemon.
Yeah, tell them to bring it to my house.
Well, they made me Earl Grey, so I'm very happy.
Ooh.
Sorry.
No problem,
That's
man.
some kind of pumpkin something that we apparently had.
Hey, I love it. Anyway, you close the door and you hear those soft footsteps on the cobblestone or the stone floor. Tap, 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 going down the hallway. You all kind of hold your breath and you're just waiting. Tap, no thank you. Tap, 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 tap. And the footsteps are gone once again. Now, Cameron, you do know that they do tend to walk the halls regularly, the guards.
Okay.
You have probably 20-25 minutes before their next round.
Well, I'm gonna try and cast Dispel Magic on the crystal.
So, Cameron and Blaznir, the two of you have seen this room before, but Willow, you haven't. The laboratory itself is much the way you left it, Cameron, when you were last here, but with one discernible difference. The tarp covering the chronomatic energy detector has slipped off from the device and now lies in a pile on the floor in front of it. The center of the room still has the two tables where Delamirov worked on his research, and it's covered with those various magical implements one might expect a wizard in deep research. On the side, you can still see the glowing magic circle of bright blue light that's still holding aloft that strange diamond pointed device a couple of inches off the table. Apart from that, there's still the huge collection of the things on the table. Measuring glasses, pitchers, beakers, vials, and various other things that your master tended to have as he worked.
I'll look over at Willow. I have a very important job for you.
I'll just do a thumbs up.
Come stand behind me.
Just slowly pull out my sword jokingly.
I just raise a sarcastic eyebrow. Something wrong. Ed, catch me.
I'll do 2 thumbs up.
Because that, I fully remember that last time I accidentally activated this thing, it blasted me backwards.
Oh, yeah, it did.
I certainly think that there's probably still going to be a lot of sound if that accidentally happens, but there's going to be less sound if I am caught as opposed to, like, slamming into the bookshelf and knocking a bunch of shit off.
Now, here's my one question. Let me see here real quick. Okay, the spell magic is not concentration, so you're still invisible. Okay, I was just curious.
Actually, said we had about 20 minutes or so, right?
Yeah, give or take.
Okay, then before I cast Dispel Magic, I'm gonna do something else.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull out a pearl. I'm gonna cast Identify on that lay chest and the wand that we found. I want to make sure that neither of them are connected to whatever this thing is.
Okay, let me see here.
Pop that into chat.
Okay, so are you casting these as rituals, or are you casting them just as the spell?
Ritual. Well, actually, no.
Because it does take 11 minutes to...
Yeah, I'll cast them regular. I'll use 2 spell slots.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so the wand itself is a wand of the War Mage, which I'm going to try to show you one sec here. Have to reload roll 20. Sorry. Okay, here we go. As soon as it loads. There we go. So there you go. Right there. It's a wand of the War Mage. It's your master's magic wand that he typically used whenever he was casting his magic. Now, you cast the spell on the other item. Let's see here. You cast the spell and you realize that while it is magical in and of itself, it's not so much a magic item as it is a material component for a magic item.
Okay.
You realize that this is the material component for a spell called Lemon's Secret Chest. You remember your master talking about it once or twice. It's a spell that basically hides a chest on the ethereal plane. And the object that you're holding is the key to it. It's connected to the chest.
I can touch the chest. Call the chest from playing.
Correct.
that.
Well, that's the question then, isn't it? Where's the chest?
What do you mean?
Well, so let's
Uh,
see.
An action and touch the replica. Call the chest. It appears in an unoccupied
Oh, that's
space
right.
on the ground within 5 feet of it.
I was reading it a bit wrong then. Let's see.
Just shows up for me. Doesn't matter where it is on.
That's right. That's right. Now I remember how it works. Yeah. So holding the chest, you feel it. You concentrate on the thing, and you feel that magical essence that's bound into the figurine disappear, and the chest is resummoned, and it poofs. It's probably poofs pretty close to where you are, near the chronomantic energy detector.
Examine the chest, I guess.
The chest itself is small, about 2 feet tall, 2 feet by 2 feet, and does have a lock, but does not appear to be locked. You open the lid inside, and inside is a smaller box made out of lead, closed with a small lock on it as well.
Okay. Lead is for protection against nation type spells, if I'm correct.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna try and pick the lock, I suppose.
Go ahead and make a thieves' tool check.
Well, that's a 30. So I accidentally.
That's okay. It is a more complicated lock. It actually had a DC of 20, but a 30 is
Thanks.
easy to get this thing open. You get through the small lock, open it up, and inside you see a small blue gem. It is glowing, radiating faintly, with a bright light from the center of it. Now, you've seen this before. Fontaine had one in her chest, and Shokan has one in her shell. But it is just sitting there like a marble, glowing faintly blue, pulsing a little bit with that blue light at the bottom of this lead box.
Alright. One more identify spell. I've got
Yeah.
one left.
Okay. You cast the spell. Are you picking it up? Because it's a touch thing.
Oh,
You just don't just focus at it and cast it.
that's true. Sure, yes.
Okay. You reach out with your finger and touch the small blue crystal, and the moment you do, you feel a sear of pain that just hits your body and knocks you back. You go flying across the room and land against Willow, and the both of you crumple down to the ground. Willow, you only take 4 points of damage as this rabbit is slammed into you.
Prepared.
And she was prepared, but the blast of energy that hit you knocked you off your feet. And
Oh, he got hit double hard between hitting the tattoo against me and then
Oh,
the
yeah.
blast in the front.
that's true. I forgot about the tattoo. So let's.
Got a dex
no.
save.
No, there is no dex save for this. You're just taking 4 points of damage as your back slams against her.
Sure.
And your head throbs with pain. It's like someone drove an ice pick through your ears and just left it there. And you just scream out in agony as this headache just throbs in your temples.
Funny you should mention the ears. Say that I needed to tell you where the gem ended up. I was going to tell you I have a new earring now.
Yeah, you certainly do. You can feel that lump just now stuck in your ear, and you reach up and feel it, and it's throbbing a little bit as it hangs there, but it's there in your flesh, fully fused.
Hey, real quick, Matt, I sent you a message real quick.
Okay.
Mr. Cameron, have you not learned not to touch magical stuff in this room? Like, it's... You have something in your ear, by the way.
So did the spell actually tell me anything? It's a
The moment you touch, you didn't get a chance to cast the spell. The moment you touched the thing, it knocked you back and basically was absorbed into your body.
Hey, wait, it's on my body now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then I'll just cast it now.
And it really doesn't like the group is your group has tried to identify this thing before, and
Oh, okay.
the spell identify really doesn't tell you much. But Cameron has never done this, so I'm just going to remind you all that when casting identify, it doesn't identify it beyond the fact that it has both nature magic and chronomatic magic mixed in with a little bit of necromantic magic, but beyond the fact that it is a object of power of these types of magics, it doesn't really identify it beyond that. Does that make sense?
Okay, well, that sucks, but I figured it's gonna happen. Now let's get on to the reason why we came here. Sigil. Desk.
Okay. So the sigil is there. That diamond-shaped item kind of hovering there. And looking at it one more time, give me an insight check.
Outroll advantage. 15.
14. Also, Blaznir, give me a perception check since you've been watching the door this whole time, or listening at the door this whole time.
27. That shouldn't be advantage, but 27.
So, Cameron, with your 14, the shape of this, there's something nagging you in the back of your brain. It's something about it seems familiar, but you can't quite put your finger on it. There's just like you recognize this somehow, but it's on the tip of your tongue, but you can't figure out why it seems familiar to you.
I don't remember from my dream.
Oh, it's definitely nothing from your dream.
Okay.
So, sorry, Blaznir, with your 27 perception, you can hear those footsteps coming once again. Oh, and by the way, Cameron, you're all visible again. You're just now looking around and realize this. Oh, you can see yourself, and you can see each other.
Do the footsteps sound rushed or anything? Like they've heard us? Or
They definitely sound rushed. Sounds like
Okay.
Someone's coming your direction again.
Okay, I'm gonna use my masquerade tattoo to cast disguise self on myself, and turn into the guy who was helping us out in this room earlier.
Commander Lorien.
Yeah, Commander Lorien, that's the guy.
Okay. I like it. You're using your tattoo and you change your features and suddenly you're a commander. You look like Commander Lorien. What were you about to say, Cameron?
I guess it doesn't matter now since he turned into Commander Lorien. I was just going to ask about a concentration save check.
Yeah, so when you touched that object, it canceled out all the magic you were holding on to.
That's fair. Okay, well then, I'm gonna go ahead and dispel this thing, because even if they come into the room, they won't necessarily be able to stop us.
I want to see how he turned into the guard based off his looks. I'm going to try to turn into a little girl with his looks that look like I'm his daughter.
Interesting.
And try to hide.
Not sure if he's got
Why?
a dog.
Well, no, that's what I'm going to hide. I'm gonna hide. If they catch me, I'll be like, "Baby, Papa." The backup.
So
It just looked like another guard.
So Willow just begins changing. Her features looking somewhat similar to what Blaznir currently has illusioned himself to look like. Slightly different, more feminine. Still wearing the robe she wears. But yeah, she kind of looks like a little female version of what Blaznir currently is looking like. Cameron, go ahead and cast your Dispel Magic.
Sure.
What
cast
level are
it.
you? Yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
Fourth level, because that is the highest level that I can cast it at.
Okay, so go ahead and roll. Well, let's just go ahead and use the Arcana because it's the same anyway.
Sure.
Can I cast Cure Wounds on myself real quick as well?
25.
Oh, Blaznir, you would have had time for a short rest. Remember?
Oh. I probably should roll that down now then.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
You would have had. I remember I said at the beginning of the session that you all had time to take a short rest if you wanted one. So you can go ahead and use your hit dice.
Okay. Oh.
Okay, there you go.
Alright, I am full up now.
There you go. But so Cameron, you reach out with your magic and cast Dispel Magic on the sigil in front of you. What did you roll?
25, good sir.
Okay, with a 25, the spell begins to fizzle and winks out. And the object in it drops. Make a dexterity check for me, please.
Sure.
You try to snatch at it. You barely get your hand around it in time just before it hits the table. But it sits there in your hand. And it's a cool metal cylinder shaped in a diamond shape towards the ends, but long and cylindrical.
Okay. I'm going to put it in my pocket.
Okay. You put it in your pocket just in time to hear the lock at the door in front of Blaznir begin jiggling a little bit. And you hear a key rustling in it. The door opens up just in time to see a tall half-orc standing there in the typical chainmail garb of a spell shield. He looks up and immediately sees Commander Lorient standing there in the doorframe opposite him. And he's, sir, what are you doing here? I thought I heard a crash.
It's fine. We're checking out this room again. He just was bugging me the entire time. Quite annoying, degrading.
Make a deception check.
I'm going to inspiration, actually.
You have inspiration?
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah.
He got it last session.
Yeah, never mind. Oh boy.
Well, that's a 7. Yeah. So you say that you're still there looking, and the half orc looks dubious and kind of scowls a little bit, and he looks past you. You're about the same height as him, and he's kind of looking over your shoulder, and he looking past you into the room beyond, where his eyes settle on you, Cameron, and standing up next to the workbench, and Willow standing behind him, and he says,
I was hiding. I was hiding in case I got caught, then I was going to use the whole ploy of Daddy.
Oh, okay. My mistake.
Since I'm pretty sure he failed, I'm going to use my second gift of the day to let him re-
Well, hold on a second. Willow, since you said you're going to be hiding, go ahead and make a stealth check. Where are you hiding?
Alright.
There.
If I can just get around the table. I didn't want to move myself just in case, but I just want to be like a little girl hiding. If I get caught, I can just peel up.
Okay. Yeah,
yes.
go ahead and make your stealth check. Blaznir still.
10,
Blaznir, I
like
believe
my age.
you do not have your pass without a trace on right now because you
Yeah.
are currently using your other spell, so it is just a 10. So he looks, like I said, he looks past at Cameron, standing there in front of the table. He looks over and sees eyes and a head poking out from behind the table. And he looks back at you, Blaznir, and he's has an odd, confused look on his face as he says, what are you doing here, sir? Weren't you a little shorter the last time I saw you?"
Ghost I'm wearing stilts.
You're
scaring
I
my
want to
daughter.
run up and Daddy, that's just me, and just like hide behind his leg, holding him and just crying.
Listen, you're kind of scaring my daughter. All right, just you know, hey, orcs aren't gonna attack you. Listen,
Make a deception check with advantage because Willow is helping you.
Me make the roll or him make the roll?
No, him make the roll.
Him make the roll.
Just not selling it.
And Cameron,
it's the voice. Honestly,
now Cameron, you can use your chronal shift.
Sure. Let's go to a timeline where you actually convinced him. So,
wait,
roll that again.
I saw an orc beat up on it.
That was an intimidation roll, but
But
that was, yeah.
well, yeah. Hold on a second. Hold on.
same.
Yeah, the plus is the same. So we'll go. God, you got really fucking lucky right there.
Wait, it could be like the ride along too, where Kevin Hart is pretending to be the bad guy, and he's like, "Hey, I thought you were taller," and then goes over, grabs the guy's gun, he's like, shoots him in the leg. Guy falls down to the ground, goes, "How tall is Omar now?"
Well, I doubt they're doing that, but with little Willow crying there, holding onto his leg, Blaznir does not seem to be selling it. Cameron just tweaks and shifts that little bit of time that he knows how to do, and the world just kind of shifts a little bit. But instead, Blaznir seems to be a lot more convincing than he was, as he's saying, "No, this is my daughter. You're just scaring her. You're just scaring her." And the half orc is taken aback, and sorry, sir. What?
No, it's my fault. Honestly, I haven't taught her, racial tolerance yet, and I really should be on to that.
Well, perhaps we should just escort her back to your office, and you can get her some tea or something.
I can do that myself. Thank you. We still got work to finish up here, and you know how it is.
Oh well. Do you need me to stick around and help out?
No, just keep on continuing your rounds. All right.
Daddy, I saw this orc beat up this little girl, and it was really awful.
I know, darling.
And the very abashed orc just kind of salutes weakly and okay, I'll get to my rounds. I'm sorry, sir, for disturbing you. And he salutes. His salute snaps down, and he turns and he kind of gives you all one last glance as he walks away.
I'll just close the door, lock it again, go back to the place, and you're just, I did not think I had that at all.
I looked straight up at him. You need to learn how to fucking lie.
I know. Listen, I just haven't done it too much, and I think my accent was off. Honestly, I couldn't remember the guy's voice. I thought, gruff man. So that's what I did.
But by the skin of his teeth, Blaznir manages to talk his way out of being caught for at least a little while, and the three of you are left alone once again. And I think that's actually a great place to pause for a break.
Oh.
Okay. So we will pick things up in about 10 minutes, folks. Stay tuned. Howdy, everybody. We are back. And when we last left off, Cameron, Blaznir, and Willow had snuck their way into the Institute Arcanum, wanting to examine Cameron's master's workshop without the watchful gaze of the guards there, the spell shields. During that time, made a lot of racket and ended up alerting one of the guards to their presence. But through some illusionary magic from Blaznir, some chronomagic magic from Cameron, and a lot of persuasion and deception rolls, the group managed to talk their way out of being discovered and have been left on their own once again. So, Cameron, Willow, and Blaznir, what is it you're wanting to do?
So the plan is that I am test at third level out of fourth slots that will make, and then Blaznir fly. Cape.
So after dispelling the sigil and
Yes.
grabbing that up and you put it in your pack, you guys are heading out once again. Is that what I'm understanding? Okay.
Back to try and get back to the inn.
Okay. Fair enough. So with that, Blaznir transforms into a fly and lands on Willow's head as Cameron turns himself and Willow invisible using his spell slots. The three of you, is there anything else the three of you are wanting to do in the laboratory itself? I mean, it's up to you. You don't have to. I'm just asking if there's anything you want to do before you head out.
Guards are gone, I guess. I don't know. A spell slot. I might as well identify the crystal.
The crystal?
That we grabbed from the sigil.
Oh, no, that's not a crystal. It's a long cylindrical tube of metal that's kind of shaped and pointed like a diamond. Now that you're looking at it, you realize that you can see both mithril and gold and brass and bronze all worked in together in different not designs per se, but kind of mixed and melted together to form the parts of this cylinder, while the thing itself, most of it, the body, is made out of mithril. In the center of it, there's a small rectangle etched into the center of the thing, while the rest of it, there's no runes or anything else to speak of.
And that is what I would have identified.
Okay. You cast Identify on the object, and it does not come back with anything. There is no magic on the metal cylinder itself.
Okay. And the big ol' honkin' machine trying to get to work.
Mm-hmm.
Look like it would fit in anywhere.
Oh, go ahead and make a perception check.
Sure. Hey, guys, you want to help me look thing. See. Where?
Am I a fly yet?
Well, did you do that? I mean,
I
or
I don't know the timeline here, honestly.
Yeah, I'll help. I'll help.
I guess if I'm not flying, I'll help you.
Alright. So, yikes. I got a 12. Hope
well,
better.
you c-
About
so
its
they
advantage.
they were helping you, so you're rolling with
Oh,
advantage.
Okay, then second time. That's
Ooh.
even worse.
Well, so you do recognize you know the machine at least somewhat because you helped him build it, and this is something that he's been working on for a very long period of time, slowly making these gears to fit into the right places, objects that's filled with different liquids and magical spells that have all been put together over time. The center of this thing is huge, a gigantic globe of the world of Loroupa that has been set inside what looks as though almost like a gyroscope of lenses and levers and dials and things of that nature. In one section, there is an area that you do not recognize.
Okay.
And you walk over, and there is a slot that has been added since the last time you've been here. And it does appear that this object would slide into it.
Okay, and remind me what you mean to do.
It detects it. Well, when he finishes it, he would always say it could detect chronomagic signatures in large concentrations. So what the whole design of this machine is to be is he's always suspected that in certain points around the globe there's higher concentrations of time magic, and he built this device to locate them. It's always been his belief that if he could find a powerful enough source of chronomatic magic, he could use it to power the thing, and it would home in on other pods or points of chronomatic magic. And so that's basically what the whole thing is designed to do, to locate energy sources of this magical field so he could pinpoint their locations.
Okay. Well, companion.
Sorry, I found myself not paying attention. What's going on?
This is way out of my wheelhouse.
I genuinely don't know what's going on.
So Cameron has been, while you've been basically staring off into space, Cameron walked over to a very large contraption that has a globe to one side and a bunch of wheels and levers and gears and things of that nature. He's been examining it, and he's just now realized that the piece that he found that was floating in that field of that magical sigil can fit into this device. That's what's going on, Blaznir.
Put it in.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, that sounds like it might make a loud noise, and I don't have another Commander Lorient in me, so that's one problem.
I mean, when's the next time we're gonna be back here?
Well,
Fair enough.
I'm more just saying that we're probably going to get found out if we could, unless someone else turns into the dude I just was.
Alright. I'ma pop it in.
Okay.
Probably a bad idea, but as a player, be a shiny thing and mess with it.
You insert the device into the space, and it clicks into place. It fits in there perfectly. As it does, once it does, little clamps come sliding in, grasping the thing, and it slowly begins to spin. As it spins, you see a blue light begin to glow out from this metal. The metal itself begins glowing bright blue, very similar to the blue that's now kind of pulsing at your ear, Cameron. And Blaznir, that gigantic crystal seed that the group has that you've seen, it reminds you of that as well. Same color. As it begins spinning and glowing, the rest of the machinery comes to life and begins whirling. Gears begin to start clicking and grinding as dust shakes off this machine. The gyroscope that's been built around the globe begins to spin rapidly, around and around, and the whole room begins to fill with a little bit of wind as it starts to spin. The entire thing, you see light beginning to go from through pipes and along the areas. Another section begins to spin and glow as well, and bright lights begin to appear on the globe itself. The globe is now turning and it seems to be rotating a little bit, almost as though it's in its orbit. You can see the massive supercontinent of Loroupa. You can see the handful of smaller islands that are around the central hemisphere, and the smaller continent to the south on the opposite hemisphere of the planet itself of Loroupa. And along this whole thing, points begin to glow. Make a investigation check for me.
Sure. 13.
Okay. The first thing that begins glowing is in the northwestern part of the continent of Loroupa. There's 4 small motes and 1 large bright mote of light that appears in the area that you would guess is probably North Emia. You can see another one to the southeast of North Emia. 4 very large ones appear in the opposite side of the country, in the kingdom you know of as Hyrulean. You see one to the far southwest in what you believe to be Gulfrin, and you also spot a few more lights coming off in different points within the ocean as well. It's hard to make out all of them. Some of these points of light are barely visible. Others, brightly glowing. But as I said, you see 4 small and 1 large in North Emia, 1 southeast of North Emia, 4 large ones in Hyrulean on about the northeastern coastline.
You have a map.
Do you have a map? You do have...
No, we have a map. And I mark these down on our map.
Oh yeah, absolutely you can.
Okay, do that.
You mark down North Emia, you mark down the point, and you're kind of... You pull out your map and you're starting to examine it. And you're guessing that the 4 large ones are in the capital city of Revancia. The one to the southwest of North Emia, you're guessing is in the kingdom of Gulfrin, in its capital, but you're not familiar with that place too much. The 3 points that you see in the ocean are literally in the ocean. 2 of them far to the south of the continent, and 1 on the opposite side of the hemisphere.
Okay.
There are a couple others as well. You do see one in the Margarden Federation, and 1 on the island of Jura. And those are the ones that you can see. But as the thing begins to grow brighter and begins whirling, Blaznir, you're hearing footsteps coming down the hall as well.
We've got company quite a bit, I think.
Okay, fine. Can I figure out how to shut this thing down?
You tell me.
Try and figure out how to shut this thing down.
What are you trying to do?
So the object that I put in it, do I have an ability to read? Could I attempt to pull it out of the
I mean,
claws?
you can always try. Make an investigation check.
Sure. 27. Thank God.
You're looking around the area that you had inserted this object into its slot, and you can see it. It hit when the claws came out to grab it. It kind of pulled it down a little bit. You could reach your hand in and grab it, but the thing is spinning kind of fast, and you hesitate because you're kind of worried about just trying to grab the thing and breaking it.
Gotcha. It's not a good idea.
You look around the casing itself, and you do see there's a series of buttons along the lower ridge. The buttons are not marked with anything beyond the fact that there is a small gem in each, a red, a green, a blue, and a yellow.
Okay, and I don't know what any of these...
You've not seen this panel from... This panel was not there the last time you were here. It's a recent addition.
Alright. Go for the red button.
Okay.
You're pressing the red button.
Yes.
Oh, you're gonna die. Alright.
You
Hey,
press...
at least this one doesn't have anything that says shut it down, shut it all down, emblazed above it.
You press the red gemstone button, and you hear a as the thing begins to slowly power down. The object that you had inserted is slowing to a stop before the claws lifted forward once again, and then detach.
Grab it and hide it.
Okay, you grab it and you hide it. Blaznir transforms himself into a fly, and the two of you are now invisible, Cameron and Willow. We'll just say that you did this after the fact.
Sure. Try and get the hell out of here without dying.
Go ahead, all of you. Well, Blaznir, you're gonna be able to roll at advantage because you're a fly. And Willow and Cameron, you have advantage because you're invisible. Each one of you give me stealth checks, please.
What's the dexterity on a fly? Or should I just use mine?
I got it. 24.
Just use yours.
Okay. I feel like a fly would be a bit more dexterous than I am. Never try to hit one, but 15.
16.
Okay. Cameron and Willow.
We both made a crit fail.
No, yeah, you both did crit fail, but luckily you had advantage. Cameron and Willow, the two of you open the door, and you look out there just in time to see that half-orc heading your direction again. The two of you slip out of the room and kind of shuffle and run to the back corner, and as he's walking up to the door, Blaznir, you're flying through. He does see you, the fly, and he kind of waves at you real quick. Trying to swat at you. Make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Hey. Wait, look at that.
Well, I was about to say you have advantage on this because you're a fly.
Okay.
Roll that again, thank God.
14 is enough to he swings at you. The air current kind of pushes you off course, and you go flying up into the air. And it takes you a little bit to right yourself and to fly normally. But you fly up to the ceiling, and he kind of just looks at you and walks into the room, seeming.
I'm gonna scream profanities and fly. I'm cursing at him.
Sure, you're cursing at him and fly, but he doesn't hear anything more than a buzz. And he walks into the room, and you see him scratching his head, looking very confused. All three of you are now in the hallway. He has walked into the laboratory. So what are you all doing?
Leaving.
Getting the fuck out of here. You are well aware of the path, but again, you're having to pass your way through, getting past the guards and that sort of thing. So to make this a little bit quick, because it's 5:19, give me 2 stealth checks with advantage, all of you, and we'll see how you do.
23 on both.
10 and 18.
That's first one is a 16. Second one is
Okay. Blaznir having a bit of a hard time. He's flying. His flying is erratic. He's never really been a fly before, and it's a bit weird. Wild shaping into a fly.
why would he fly at all? I thought you said sitting on Willow's head.
Oh yeah, I did forget about that, didn't I? But still, let me.
Sure, sorry.
Anyway, well, we'll say that Blaznir was able to land on Willow's head at some point in their walk. It is a little more difficult the second time around because you don't have Blaznir casting his paths without a trace. But between the two of you invisible and Blaznir trying to hold on as best as he can as a fly, you do eventually manage to make it out of the Institute unscathed. Being invisible, you have about 30 minutes to run the streets of North Emia to get back to the inn. Now, it takes you about an hour and a half to get back to the inn where you were, or you can go somewhere else if you're really wanting to. But give me one more stealth check, all three of you.
Sure.
This is not an advantage. This is just regular because...
23 in a row.
Well, you guys don't have advantage on this one because this is going to be
outside
of the spell. Once you turn visible again, trying to evade guards and make your way back to the inn.
You ruined my fucking trifecta of 23s.
Sorry.
Do I have to roll because I'm a fly?
All right. I mean, if you're staying as a fly the whole time, I'll say that you can just stay on Willow's head and you don't need to make a stealth check.
I was also thinking that like a fly outside isn't very suspicious at all.
No, it's not. This is true. You do have a good point there.
I'm gonna roll, and I do have advantage because of my tattoo.
Okay.
19.
So between a 14 and 19, Cameron is ranging ahead, keeping an eye out. He whispers to Willow when it's clear. The two of you together tend to keep to the shadows as best as you can, and you do make it back to the inn without an issue. Sneak back up to your rooms, not ducking around to make sure the bartender doesn't see you as well, but you do all make it back to your rooms. So, what are you wanting to do?
Well, I really should have asked
The other
that
players.
What's that?
I said, let the other players do something.
Yes, let the other players do something. Well, Ichabod and Shokan, it's been a while since we talked to the two of you, but you did make your way back from the Erudite Conclave to the inn. Were you wanting to do anything else that evening, or were you just heading to bed?
I feel like we were just kind of waiting for that thing to be done, like the transfer. So in the next couple days, we should just buy our circus equipment, get everything ready to head out. I don't know what else there is to do.
Celebrated a little bit for winning of the tournament.
Yeah, we probably just hung out in the tavern all day.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the whiskey. Getting to know each other, I guess.
Yeah, and that's totally fine too. The two of you hung out at the inn. Plenty of people coming up and congratulating you. The talk around the town, at least at the inn you're at, has been mostly about your victory. Shokan showed the belt off to everybody. Drinks were poured, and for the most part, while the other three were fucking around at the Institute, the two of you were having just a great time, drinking, eating, chilling, and having fun with each other, getting to know one another. Ichabod, it's kind of interesting for you, spending your time with a turtle. This is definitely the first turtle you've ever met, and you were surprised to see how well she did in the tournament.
And I referred to Shokan with male pronouns the whole time.
Probably.
And Shokan probably just doesn't
Think.
yeah, rolls with. How can you tell, honestly?
So yeah, Ichabod just has a bunch of whiskey and then complains that the fight was better suited to you hand-to-hand fisticuffs. I'm more of a distance martial weapons fighter, so he complains.
Yeah, probably. But
it's not that I suck. It's that
it's not that you suck. It's just you weren't in your element.
yeah, I was at a disadvantage.
But the two of you do have a great old time, drinking, eating, having fun, and the story of Shokan's success seems to be spreading, at least among those at the inn, to reasonable success. So all of you make it back to the inn. You're able to head off to bed for the evening. Unless there's anything else anyone was wanting to do, we can skip past and clear through the rest of your time in North EMEA.
Sitting in bed, think, what the hell are you up?
Yeah, it is kind of strange. You, as you're sitting on your bed, getting ready to turn in for the evening, you're holding that odd diamond-shaped cylinder in your hand over and over again, and it's weird because when you cast Identify on the metal itself, there was no magical essence whatsoever. There's nothing to identify, but you clearly saw magic coming out of it when you plugged it in.
I will note that before Ichabod goes to sleep, he always has a pray. So I roll out my little mat and I pray that the Father keeps my family safe, and puts them upon my path so that I may find them.
Indeed. And your dreams that night probably go back to your wife and to your two sons and the last time you saw them. And it's a pleasant enough dream, but there's always that sense of loss, that as though they're just out of reach. But you all do wake up and gather together at the inn one last time and prepare yourselves. Edmund finds you all that next morning, and as you all sitting down at the inn having your breakfast, really good pancakes, crispy hash browns, things of that nature. Edmund returns and hands over some papers to you, Ichabod, since you're the one who asked them, and he says, "Yes, well, I was able to ask the king what you were requesting, and he gave me this." And he unrolls the piece of paper, and it's a parchment declaring a circus has been permitted to travel the length of North EMEA and spread goodwill and cheer among its citizens. The circus, known as the Debauchery Circus, may set up their tents anywhere within the kingdom of North EMEA, or the kingdom of Radagast, and put on these performances by the goodwill of the king. He also hands you a few other papers. These are more, what's the word I'm looking for? national decrees, writs of passage. He actually has about 5 or 6 different documents for you to look at, Ichabod.
Ooh.
The permit for the circus itself also includes travel permits, granting you safe passage and admittance to towns wherever you go within North Emea, or within Radagast. I keep saying North Emea, within Radagast, and there's also little things like edicts and things of that nature, which you had said
Alright.
you wanted to look over and kind of get a feel for the way the king writes his decrees.
Okay, cool. So are these like examples that do include the king's handwriting? I imagine it has like signatures. And
Yeah,
stuff.
it's mostly his signatures. He generally has other people write these things down, and then he just signs them. But you do ask about more of his handwriting, and Edmund does produce a letter that the king wrote himself, which basically states that Edmund is indeed the heir of Coltrast, and it has the king's personal seal on it as well, and gives basically it describes Edmund's his lineage, his parentage, his right to the Coltrast fortune, that sort of thing. And that, Edmund points out, specifically was written by the king's own hand.
All right. I would like to make a copy of this in time, if you don't mind, young Edmund.
And
for reasons.
Go ahead and make a deception check if you're trying to.
I'm trying to be. I'm not trying to. I must argue. I am not trying to be.
Okay, that's fine. I was just asking if you were or not. Edmund is not a stupid young man, and he leans in close to you and he says, "I think I have an inkling of why you requested these things. As long as we're not doing anything horribly illegal, and things that might reflect badly on us or the king."
I must assure you, young Edmund, I consider myself a lawful man, and I do not intend to use this in any harmful way. It just might come in handy in the future, and I like to be prepared.
By lawful, do you mean lawful evil, perhaps?
I'm lawful something.
Lawful, okay.
There's a lot of shades of gray. I would not say that there is an explicit good or evil. The Lord himself.
It's more of the specific shade of gray we're talking about here. It's a bit darker than usual.
He understands that sometimes.
Blaznir, speaking of dark shades of gray, I think I did observe making some kind of a deal with some kind of a devil back in that tournament.
Well, as he said.
I'm just worried about the color of your soul. So if you want to have a word about it.
I'm sure we'll have many words about that eventually.
Well, I'm looking forward.
I'm gonna use my masquerade tattoo.
Thanks, brother.
I make my eyes shine a bit red for a second.
His eyes glow bright red for just a flash, Ichabod.
Mm-hmm. I think Ichabod chortles at that. And he says, "Well, I'm around if you do want to speak."
Indeed.
Tip my hat.
Well, with that,
Thank you, young Edmund.
Edmund pats you on the shoulder and says, "Absolutely. Just let me know if you need anything else. As for the rest of the tasks at hand, I have procured items that we've discussed. I've purchased 2 wagons and one very large tent, as well as 4 smaller tents, which we could use to, sleep in, to give the illusion that we are in fact a circus. I do have some funds left over from the king. I've used a few things I purchased a few items for myself, including this." And he holds it up, and it's a hat, a little jaunty thing. Looks kind of like a tilby, but has a feather out of it. That little.
This hat offers no sun protection.
No, it doesn't. It's used for other things, and he places it on his head, and his body begins to change, and it makes him look like Blaznir, but much shorter.
All right.
Then
Oh,
he
if you look at that, we've got another shapeshifter in the party. Another reason for Mr. Ichabod to be worried.
well, he takes the hat off and he dissolves. It's just a magic. It's a hat of disguise. I figured if we're going into Coltrast, then I probably shouldn't look like myself.
I think that's wise.
It did take up all of my savings, but I think it's well worth it.
We got wagons. We got a big tent or little tents.
He also he has a little satchel that he pulls up and sits down, and it clinks a little bit. Inside it has health potions. He picked up 3 greater health potions and 3 lesser health potions. So you can mark that down in the Circus journal that he's providing these as well.
Sure. The 3 greater and 3 lesser.
Yeah, 3 greater and 3 lesser.
All right. Well, there's just one matter that remains at hand, and that is contacting our potential mercenaries.
Edmund procures that horn that you all were given out of Shokan's haversack. And he holds it up and he says, now the orcs did say that once we blow this, they would come and find us. I'm not entirely sure how it works beyond blowing it. But perhaps if we blow it, they'll find us and meet up with us? What do you think?
I think that makes sense, that would be how it works.
I'm sure we will blow it.
He'll hand the horn over to you, Willow, and he says, perhaps we should do it outside of the city, though.
Yes.
I face palm so hardcore when he does that to me.
When he hands it to you?
Yes.
To blow.
We could have a.
I've seen nothing.
I mean, didn't you say you wanted to give it a blow? He's smiling as he looks.
No sugar. I think the blow is gonna blow.
So I do think it is wise, perhaps, to wait until we're on the road, and then we can have this meeting with our mercenary orc friends, and bring them in on the plan.
Sounds good to me, Ichabod. So the question really remains: you guys can leave North Emia whenever you like. It is currently about 9 a.m. on the 1st.
Is our weapon done for Willow?
Yes, actually, that would have been done yesterday, so you would be able to pick that up. And you all do head over to the Enchanter. Willow, you went with them when they dropped it off, and that's when you got your armor as well. There's a half-orc Enchanter in North Emia who's the group has mostly purchased from, and he's the one who agreed to do the sword for you. I'll just go ahead and add that to your inventory. That way you don't have to, Willow.
Hey, it makes my job easier.
Because it's not an item in the game itself. I actually have to place it on there.
I think we're good to go.
But yeah, if there's anything else you all are wanting to pick up, now's the time to let me know.
I would like to try to find a transport via pants. Goal.
Oh, plants. I heard
Transport via
pants for
pants.
some reason.
Yes, I wanna be able to teleport into someone's trousers. So.
I would like that spell too,
The soul of Finn is with us still.
Apparently so.
We're being haunted.
I'm going
I need to go to the church. We need an exorcism of this soul that's in us.
Did somebody order an exorcist? No kidding.
I'm gonna look for a book on how to sit highly religious closeted men.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what you're trying to imply, but
Okay.
I've got nothing to hide.
Okay, go ahead. If you're wanting to search for these things, a transport via plant spell and a book on how to seduce men. Go ahead and give me investigation checks.
I'll also have you know I'm a married man.
Well, I was mostly joking. 25s.
Obviously, Cameron was serious.
14. So yeah.
Okay, so Cameron, you do find a local bookstore selling books of all sorts, and you find a rather old-looking halfling who runs it, a young woman by the name of Sally, we're going to say, who owns Sally's Bookshops. And in it, you do find several very interesting manuals on seduction, including the seduction of older men. Gray foxes. It's called Gray Foxes and How to Hunt Them.
I'm not that old.
This is the weirdest fanfic I've ever read.
Apparently.
I'm comfortable.
All for it.
Silver foxes. Oh, silver foxes, I'm being told. Not gray foxes, silver foxes. My mistake.
How much do you want for this book?
5 gold pieces. It doesn't cost very much.
Sure.
Because it won't work.
Yeah, I'm in the process of putting together the sword, so give me half a second here.
You can do it next time, dude. Don't worry about doing it now. I'm not going to end up fighting with it right today.
Yeah.
Unless.
Well, so Blaznir, with your 14, you're trying to find specifically a transport via plant spell, and you're asking around, and there are vendors that sell scrolls here in the city. Not many beyond, like, outside of the Institute Arcanum, there are vendors who sell scrolls, but most of them are overpriced, and very rarely are they above the second level spells. With the 14, unfortunately, you're unable to find anyone who sells a divine scroll of that power.
Alright. I'll kind of look just enviously, at the fact that Cameron found what he was wanting.
Yeah. I also years and pay a lot.
I think he's talking about your seduction book.
Oh, that's true.
Listen, it could go either way at this point, but... Oh, well, let's get out of here.
Okay, so there you go, Willow. You now have a Radiant Greatsword in your inventory.
Welcome.
You really need to tell me about the back tattoo so I stop smacking it.
But with that, all of you had horses. And actually, when you go to pick up your horses from the stable, you all realize that Fontine's horse is still there. Because Fontaine had a horse too, and it is still in the stable. You all have to pay off the stable. You all have to pay off the stable master. So everyone take off 10 gold from your inventories.
Yeah, about that.
If you don't have it,
Not currently.
I'll cover.
About that, I do not, because I'm going to summon my horse.
well, yeah, that's true. Your horse was in a different location, so you're
My
fine.
horse is a spectral.
Mhm. It is. The rest of the group gathers up their horses. Willow pays for Cameron.
I can pay for half of it.
I'll take Kings and pay for his.
Okay. You can do that. And Cameron had one as well. Cameron had a pony, not a horse. And Ichabod has a war horse. And the rest of you have your riding horses, your pack horses, which you're able to hitch up. You now have 2 wagons to hitch up. You need 4 horses to do so. So you hitch up Blaznir, Willows, Shokans, and Fontines to this. Who's going to be guiding the wagons?
I put my finger on those. Not it.
What
Yeah.
skill would that be?
I think I have to.
Handling, right?
Yeah, I think I'm the best at handling animals here.
Probably.
No offense, any of you. So, but it's
Yeah, and
literally what I've been.
I think Rod would prefer to be riding alongside the caravan.
I don't know. I handled my ex for quite a many years.
Well, Blaznir can take 1 wagon. Who's going to take the second?
I mean, I can go ahead and take a second. I'm not.
And
I'll give it a whirl.
Okay. And Edmund can ride his own horse. Cameron, you have your pony you can ride, or you can ride in the wagon and hitch the animals. Edmund will just hitch his horse to the back of the wagon and ride with Blaznir, I think, or with Shokan. He knows Shokan the best, so he's going to ride with you, Shokan.
I guess I'll do. It would be easier on my pony if I didn't ride it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Everybody
then
can ride in one.
I'll hitch him to the back and I'll ride with Blaznir.
Okay.
This is perfect.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
because I ride alongside because I'm decent mounted combat. Me and Salvatore, we gotta be together.
Absolutely. So with Ichabod on his war horse, Blaznir and Cameron in 1 wagon with the pony hitched on the back, Shokan and Edmund in the other, with Edmund's horse hitched to the back. Willow, what are you going to be doing? Who are you riding with?
I'm just going to be riding about 5 to 10 feet back from them.
Oh, so you
Just
want to
in
be
case.
want to be riding a horse as well?
Keep
Yeah, I
it up.
took Fontine's horse.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to do the math here. So you have a total of 6 horses. 4 of them have to be hitched to the wagons. So there's that. One of them is Ichabod's. And then the last one was Edmund's that he was... Or actually, no, hold on. Let's see. You have
And
4...
so you've also got to consider.
Yeah, so probably can't pull a wagon.
Wagon.
Yeah. Let me think back here for a second, because you have Blaznir, Willow, Shokan, Edmund, and Fontine. So you have 5 pack horses, 1 pony, and then the charger. So yeah, you can have 4 horses taking the wagon. Willow, you can ride on the 5th. Edmund will just have his in with one of the wagons. Cameron's is attached to a wagon, and Ichabod's riding his. Perfect. There we go.
Yeah, so we got all the horses pulling the wagons, followed by a pony, and then 2 people also riding horses.
Yes, there we go.
On Dasher, on Dancer, on Prancer.
And the wagons themselves are piled up with supplies. Besides the tents themselves, there's also food rations and things of that nature. Some water carry with you as well, and a few other assorted odds and ends that Edmund thought would be good for the circus itself. With those loaded up, Blaznir and Cameron on one, Shokan and Edmund on the other, and Willow and Ichabod riding to the sides to flank and support the wagons, the group makes their way out of North Amia and onto the road. Now, this day, it does take some time to get to Coltrast. It actually takes 7 days of travel down the main road to do so. Probably towards the end of the first day is when Edmund first blew the horn to summon the orcs. Once you guys made camp, thinking, "Oh, this will be a good spot to meet them." You make your camp your first day of travel. Edmund blows his horn, and you all wait. The night goes by relatively smoothly. Cameron, you have a spell which allows you to protect the party while they sleep, don't you?
Yes, I do. I learned human tiny hut.
Which is great. Basically what it does, it creates a dome which about 10 people could sleep in comfortably. It's not a huge dome by any stretch of the imagination. You can't keep the wagons and the horses in there, but you can protect yourselves without problem. And probably fit a few horses at least in there, because it can fit up to 10 people total. But you do make camp. Cameron uses his tiny hut to create a dome of protection around you, and your first night goes by relatively quick. Your second night as well is mostly spent. Your second day is spent mostly traveling, going down the road on horseback, joking, talking amongst yourselves, making this sort of conversation to pass the time because it tends to be rather tedious. On the second day of travel, I want everybody to make perception checks, please. Individual.
Yikes, that's an 8.
Perception check. I almost knocked over my monitor.
Busy reading.
14.
Okay.
10.
Let me see here. Set all this up tomorrow, or next time. But so Shokan, with your 19, you've been traveling about halfway through your second day, and you notice in the distance, far behind you, that there's someone else traveling along the same road. The road's been fairly quiet, and you haven't really passed too many people along your journey. The first day you did pass by people going towards North Amia, that sort of thing. There's been a little traffic, but the second day on the road, there really hasn't been much. But with your 19, you notice there is somebody on the road behind you, traveling just out at the edge of your vision. Not much more than a speck, but it is there. And you note this as you're traveling about halfway through your day. And as the day begins to wind down and the sun begins to set, you see that they are still traveling at about the same pace as you. It's almost as if they're following you.
Okay, I'm gonna quietly let the others.
If you like, I can fall back to investigate.
As long as you
Well, I was gonna say I'm already back 10 feet.
I'll go back with you. Here, you can back up, but I kind of wanted to get close to him to see if I could hit him with my divine sense.
I kind of stressed I didn't want to make it obvious.
I think it's better to confront somebody and have them identify themselves before we lay down for arrest and see if he attacks us.
Okay, so Ichabod, after being... Because, I mean, you're all riding on your wagons as you're talking about this. So Shokan summons Ichabod and Willow close and tells them that she thinks somebody's following you. Ichabod, you're saying you're wanting to ride towards them and see who it is?
I think I just want to slow down while we're still walking along, slow down and wait for him to catch up a little bit. And once he's within about 60 feet of me, I want to use Divine Sense. And depending on what happens there, I'll holler out at him.
Okay. So what does Divine Sense do? Go ahead and pop that up. Okay, so as an action, you open your sense to good and evil until the end of the next turn. You know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet of you that is not behind total cover. You know the type, but not its identity. Okay.
I should know off the bat.
Yeah,
Something to be really worried about.
I like it. So, Willow, did you say you're going to be following him as well?
Yes, I am going to be in the back.
Well, what I'm asking is if you're following Ichabod, because Ichabod was riding towards this other group.
Stay in between me and the wagons so that you can run up to them should they need you.
I'm gonna follow behind. Actually, closer than Ichabod probably once, but I will be riding behind.
Okay, I dig it. Let me just move you to a different map real quick. So, with Ichabod riding ahead, Willow kind of following behind, the two of you race in the opposite direction of the carts, heading towards this group. Now, Shokan and Blaznir, are the two of you continuing to advance down the road when the two of them left, or are you stopping and waiting? Just out of curiosity.
I'm gonna keep on advancing if Shokan does, and I'm gonna keep an eye, up ahead to see if there's any, anyone trying to ambush us.
Yeah,
Okay.
like I don't want to be running at these people behind us. I want to just slow up because they're heading in this direction. So
Yes.
if I slow up, either they're going to stop because they don't want to get close because they're creepy, or they're going to continue walking like a normal person and come within range of me.
Okay, so you're not riding towards them. You're just stopping.
I'm not
okay.
like coming at them. I'm just slowing down because they were traveling at the same pace of our carts.
Yeah.
So if I slow down, they're gonna head towards me. I'm
Okay.
gonna get a better
Okay.
view of them.
I'm digging you. I was just trying to understand exactly what you guys were doing. So yeah, go ahead. So Shokan and Blaznir, guiding the wagons, continue on down the road. Ichabod on his charger and Willow on her horse slow down and begin to losing pace. That way, you can get closer to them. Now, as the wagons get farther and farther past you, and you're slowing down, trying to halt. Probably about a good 120 feet get between you and the other wagons. And you're looking back, watching the group that's approaching you, and you can see distinct shapes at this point. You can see that there are 5 individuals on horseback riding towards you. You see them, and they seem to be motioning towards you, pointing at you. As though you have and they are heading in your direction now, pointing directly at you, and are riding closer. They have not
like riding with speed, or they're just kind of approaching.
They're just kind of approaching. They haven't increased their speed or decreased it at all. They're still maintaining that steady pace, but they have seen the two of you falling back.
Okay, can I roll some kind of like a perception check or something and see if I can get a good look at them?
Absolutely, go ahead.
And how close are they to me now?
Right now, they're still probably about 150 feet away from you. You're starting to make out their features, and with a 22, yeah, I'm going to say you are able to make out their features. It is 3 humans, men by the look of them, all wearing armor. The one in front seems to be wearing plate armor and has a cloak going back behind him, but you can't tell what color from this distance. The other 2 in front seem to be wearing more splint-type mail. I'm going to say, since you're paladin, you can tell at a distance what armor is and what they're wearing. The 2 behind them are shorter. At first you think maybe they're just shorter humans, but the closer they get to you, you realize the 2 of them are dwarves. Also wearing armor. They look more chainmail that they're wearing.
So a bunch of armored folks on the trail, and they don't have any wagons or anything with them.
No wagons or anything like that. 5 soldiers by the looks of them. Especially that one in the front in the plate mail.
All right. I think that's a good bit of information before I get murdered for this. So I think I'm going to try to catch back up to my allies to tell them. Looks like we're being followed by some soldiers.
I'm gonna get
dwarves. Y'all do anything to piss off any dwarves recently?
Not that I know of, but although I make a lot of people angry on accident.
I get off my horse, tie my horse to a tree that's around, and I go into the woods.
Okay. You have been traveling down grasslands for the most part. There is along the road. There are some trees here and there that you can stop at if you want to.
Okay.
Um,
Sorry, I thought more wooded trail.
Yeah, no, you're on. Like, I didn't want to put you on the map that I had actually prepared. This is just
Yeah,
a
that's
campsite, but I'll give you I'll let you guys take a look at what the road you're on more looks like. There are some trees nearby. There are a bit of hills and that sort of thing. Not a lot of wooded areas. There are some wooded areas with bushes and things of that nature that you can go and hide behind if that's what you're wanting to. If you're looking for that specifically, you can find something like that on the side of the road, and you can stop your horses and stop there if that's what you're wanting to do.
I would just give everybody the information that I had and say, do you think it's better for us to lie and wait and surprise them and say, what are you following us for, or do we just wait for them to catch up to us?
I can make.
I was trying to.
I can make a giant wall in front of the path so they can't get closer.
I doubt we would be able to hide the piracy wagons.
Yeah, so I think it might be
Giant wall.
stretching them.
I will also point out, when Willow and Ichabod, the two of you hurried and sped your horses up to catch up to the rest of the group, they did start coming at a quicker pace. Not at the same pace as you, but they are starting to move faster towards you all right now.
They do seem like they intend to catch up to us. That does seem like the intention. Also, I want to pull out my Moon Touch sword so that I can see on this map.
Oh,
They're
You know,
going to serve Ichabod with paper.
if we are to stop somewhere, then we should stop where we want to. Either way, we're gonna meet them. We might as well meet them on our own terms.
Yeah, I think that's wise. I don't want to be meeting them in my bed tonight.
Oh, definitely not.
Okay, sure. So the two of you, the group is looking for a more amiable place to stop and wait for this group to catch up. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay. So we can absolutely do that next session.
Yeah, sounds
Okay.
good.
I want to get in a tree.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give all of you... Basically, it's going to take them, you would guess, maybe about 10 minutes to catch up to your group. So I'm going to place you on a new map for next session. You'll have about 10 minutes to prepare and decide what you want to do, and we'll go from there.
Sure.
We'll do that next session. So thank you for everybody for tuning in. We absolutely appreciate you watching and supporting our group. Keep following us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter as @random_Rhapsody to keep up to date on all of our schedule. Other than that, I'm just going to say thanks again for watching. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.